Geometry Dash 2.2 is hopefully going to release soon, but we really don't know when it's going to come out. But what if we don't need 2.2 yet? Well, there is an exploit in Geometry Dash World that allows access to the 2.2 editor. This has been here for a few years now, and some people have been using this exploit to get access to the 2.2 editor early, and they use this exploit and this editor to make 2.2 layouts, such as this one, which I will be showing you guys today. This layout is called Badland. It is created by Music Sounds, and it is really cool. I can't wait to show it to you all. This gameplay is by Dorami, so after you finish watching this video, you like and subscribe to me, then make sure to go to Dorami's channel, link in the description, and show him some support too, because he's really cool, and this is really cool. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the level starts out pretty slow, just like the song, and there's not really much going on. You can see there's this new 2.2 background. Oh, right, there's full screen. And so far, not much really goes on. There's nothing really 2.2 yet. This is a really cool effect, and there's this first 2.2 feature, sort of where the camera kind of shifts to the right, or the left. We have these all reverse things happening. Alright, so that is one thing I want to look at, because I don't really know how that works right here. So what I think is happening is the robot hits this dash orb, and there are reverse triggers kind of going back and forth really quickly to make it just stay in the same lane, but it's really hard to tell what's actually going on. But anyways. So there's a lot of reversing going on. And this is the first really cool thing. Right here, the cubes get split up right on this purple orb, or pad. So they get split up, and this is going to be really cool in 2.2 because we're going to have dual gameplay where the cubes are not in the same place on the y-axis, they're offset, which is going to be really weird, and you're going to see even more of that later. There's this pretty normal wave section. And we have these zooming in things, as you can see. There's another reverse. This part of that part of the robot section where it went back and forth is also really interesting. Okay. Now this is the camera static, where the camera doesn't move, which is really interesting because you can have things like what you just saw. Here's the ship free fly mode, which basically, it's really cool. I'm sorry. So here is where Music Sounds kind of created his own version of the swingcopter. If you go into the level editor, it's actually just a UFO, and I've played this level in practice mode. It's pretty hard to control, much less so. Okay. So the swingcopters here in this level is much more difficult to control than the real swingcopter that's coming. So here what's about to happen is, you saw it said path 1A, and there are two different paths to start, and then afterwards there's three different separate paths it'll take. So first I'll show you what Dorami got, which is path 1A. It goes into one of these weird dual cube sections, where they're all like super split up. It's like really trippy. And then path A, where it's not as split up, but it's still really wide. It has that static camera. And I will show you what all of these paths look like. So here you can see path 1, which Dorami had on the left, and on the right is path 2, which is not dual, it's just a spider. But you can see what that looks like here with... So basically there's a 50% chance of getting either of these two paths. And then path A, B, or C. A is what we had before, and path B is a ship, and path C is a dual wave. So I'll go back to the other video because it's 1080p. Now we just have a regular UFO section. Okay, this robot section is a lot harder than it looks, honestly. What happens right here is the robot kind of loops around because of that reverse trigger. Right here. Right here, it reverses, and then that robot part is honestly pretty hard. And then you kind of get a break here, because it's like a 5-minute song. I really like this effects with the gears, how they kind of shift to the beat of the music. And then things are slowly picking back up again. There's this interesting rotation effect that is possible with 2.1. Some more reversing, we have the spider here. And all throughout this level you see all these cool camera effects. This isn't quite free fly, but you can see that the tops and bottoms of the screen are different from what's usual. It's more stretched out than a regular wave section, but this gets really weird in a minute. So first you can go back and forth like that. A pretty normal ship section with these new kind of 2.2 things. And then this kind of mimics the beginning of the level with the blocks changing sizes. Another reverse. And what's here is really, really cool. So what's happening basically here is the wave is going to the left, and then it hits, not a reverse, but I think what happens is there's a gravity portal and a reverse, or something like that, so it has the effect of going upwards, and then it switches like that, goes back down. I think that's really cool. Here we get kind of foreshadowing the boss fight. And I think this is the boss fight part. So, vous êtes prêt? I think it's pronounced as just, are you ready in French? So here we have the fake swing copter with sort of the free fly mode. And this is actually another random trigger. There's, I think, 3 different attack patterns. Dorami got the blue one, which is the easiest one, he says. And I can try to show you the other ones. Alright, so these are the 3 different attack patterns based on the color of the sword, and they just have completely different boss fights, pretty much, with different attack patterns. I just think that's really cool. And then you get... I'll go back to the better video for the final section. So we see Dorami here. Okay. You finish the boss fight, and then survive. It's just finishing the level. There's some more fast-paced gameplay, with all of these different camera options that you can do now. More reversing, more reversing. And this is the last pretty cool part. I think it's just a bunch more reverse triggers that have the UFO just go straight up. And now what happens here is that you have to click to complete the level. My guess of what's happening is that the cube is just kind of going back and forth with the reverse trigger, and when you click, that hits a toggle trigger that just allows you to go past, and you can finish it. This isn't the only 2.2 layout. There's many more than this, but this is my favorite, partially because the song is really, really cool, and because this level really shows off some really cool things in 2.2 without really oversaturating the audience. It has a really nice blend of old things and new, and it makes really good use of things that people were worried about. Like, the use of the random trigger here is questionable because you have a very small amount of time to react to what's about to happen, but it does give you that warning, and the result is really interesting because you get entirely different sections, and it isn't something like there's just a wall at the end of the level if you're unlucky. And having different boss fights at the end is really interesting because the boss fight is supposed to be like the most intense part of the level, so if you aren't sure what to expect, that just heightens the anticipation. And here's what Dorami says about the level. He just beat this. He says that the random triggers make the level a little bit annoying because you have to learn multiple paths, only to have to only beat one of them, and it just makes reaction time much more important. The boss fights also made the level more interesting, but not all the boss fights were created equal. The blue one, which is the one he got here, was the easiest, followed by the green, and red, which was the most difficult. I think this is kind of weird to have different difficulties. I don't know if that was intentional by Music Sounds, but we also have to keep in mind this is very pre-2.2. This is not necessarily the best of what we're going to get. But anyways, that is Badland. It is really, really cool. I played it in practice mode for the most part, and it was really fun. It's basically just like a demon version of the levels we have in Geometry Dash Sub-Zero. And levels like these just make me even more excited than I already am for 2.2. I really hope this update comes out quickly, because I want to play this level. But anyways guys, if you did enjoy this, please leave a like on this video, it helps it reach more people, and I want to know in the comments below whether or not you're scared for 2.2 demons, because after this, I kind of am. I'm really excited though at the same time, which is hard to reconcile, but it's gonna be great. Make sure to subscribe as well, and have yourselves a wonderful day.